6, although it didn't have any really new groundbreaking features, it is one of the most known firmwares iOS versions ever because it was the last firmware to have a skeuomorphic look, which basically, if I go into the Notes app here, it looked like a real notepad, so it was relatable to real items around you. But I'm recording with my Beats Solo 3, so if the comments are on, can you please comment down below about how they sound? But yeah, today I'll be going over whether you can use this from a jailbroken standpoint or a stock standpoint, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll look at whether iOS 6 can be used from a stock standpoint. And jailbreaking is basically something that is not Apple certified, so let's dig in. So my 4S is a stock phone, which basically just means non-jailbroken, and my 3GS is a jailbroken phone. But here there are two apps on my Apple ID that I was able to download, being Dual Jump and WeatherBug. And Dual Jump actually does work, so I can turn on airplane mode and show you what I mean. So yeah, it basically just works fine. But WeatherBug does not work at all, and of course there is actually a way to watch YouTube on here, which is actually just going into this application. So let me just turn off airplane mode here. By the way, there's no control center on here. There's just this thing right here, which is called the multitasking bar. Get the fake YouTube and Google Maps icons that make it look like iOS 5. From the YouTube one, at least, it actually does work to go into YouTube. And for instance, I can go into my channel. Hang on, I'll show you my email address. And I can go into this video right here. And I can even sign into YouTube too through this. And as you can tell, it's actually playing, which is really cool to see. And so yeah. And of course, messages, you can still use iMessage and send and receive messages via that. Yes, my kitty's in the background, I know that. You can still make calendar. You can still use this as your calendar. You can still take photos. You can keep in mind that there's going to be no Apple TV Plus or anything for this, just videos. But we have an early Apple Maps, weather, passbook, notes, reminders, clock, Game Center. But the only applications that actually don't work are Passbook, our Newsstand I don't think works, but I'm not too sure. Game Center I don't think works because it won't let you sign in. Safari barely works. Weather doesn't work. And the App Store doesn't really work too well anymore because it is sadly most of the apps aren't supported on here anymore. And Passbook doesn't work because most of the shopping apps that you can use with Passbook, like Target and such, aren't going to be compatible with it anymore. And you also won't get Apple Music or anything, but you still could text or call depending on which carrier you have on, which phone you're using. And the devices that are supported are the iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, iPhone 5, iPod Touch 4, iPod Touch 5, iPad 2, iPad 3, iPad 4, and iPad Mini 1. Now the most convenient devices defined on iOS 6 are the iPhone 3GS and the iPod Touch 4, but you can easily downgrade a GSM iPhone 4 or a 4S to iOS 6. However, honestly, you can find a device on much higher firmware for so cheap nowadays that you might as well just not even use it as stock from a stock standpoint. And jailbreaking will still give you security issues. But now we'll go on to using iOS 6 from a jailbroken standpoint. It is actually jailbroken on iOS 6. And of course, you can still use YouTube the same way. For if I go into the YouTube app directly, it's just going to crash. But there is actually a tweak that you can install called Checkmate Store, which if you downgrade to an older version, it'll actually work. And these are the apps that I was able to get on here. Remind, which is a school messaging app, but it doesn't work. Twitter works. Instagram works. YouTube does not work. Dual jump works. Pages, numbers, Keynote, all that works. iMovie works. WeatherBug doesn't. Roku app, it doesn't, I don't think. Google Maps, I don't know. And yeah, those are all the apps I have in my Apple ID, but and you can do cool things with jailbreak tweaks too, like this, which is like the control center kind of, except doing through a notification center. And you can even like have iPhone 10 gestures on here, which is super cool. Yes, my cat is gnawing at my finger, I know. And yeah, you can just make it a little more usable. Honestly, it's not worth it to try jailbreak considering you're going to have security issues and such, especially if it's your main device, and it's just not going to be as stable. So, can you use iOS 6 in 2021? I'd say probably not. But actually, several months from now, we'll actually be doing a video on me using iOS 6 as my daily operating system for a week. So expect that video several months from now. But I know yesterday I posted a fake Apple collection video that was really me rickrolling people to try to get. But I will seriously be doing an Apple collection video later this month. So, thanks for watching, and all my social stuff will be in the description, and peace out.